Loving an abusive person more does not work because love alone cannot change someone's behavior. It cannot change someone's abusive behavior. Abusive individuals often have deep-rooted issues and patterns of behavior. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's your girl Colleena, and I am here with another video. So today we're going to be talking about why loving an abusive person or loving someone more does not change them or change the way they view themselves. Okay, and so loving an abusive person more does not work because love alone cannot change someone's abusive behavior. Abusive individuals often have deep-rooted issues and patterns of behavior that require professional help. And by continuously giving more love to an abusive person, you enable their harmful behaviors and may even put yourself at future risk or further risk. Okay? It's important to prioritize your own well-being and safety by seeking support and setting boundaries and considering leaving the abusive relationship. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. And so sometimes that false belief is that if I do more of this, if I show up more this way, or if I do more of what they're asking me to do, or I do more of what they desire, or whatever the case may be, it's going to help them love me more. It's going to help them be happy. They're going to be happy with me, happy with the relationship. They're going to be more fulfilled, whatever the case may be. And it's not true. It does not matter how amazing of a person you are. It doesn't matter if you're a great person, if you're a loving person, you're a kind person, you're a supportive person, if you cook the best, if you're the most intimate, if you're the most amazing person that this person has ever met in their life. If this person has unhealed, deep-rooted issues that are not healed and they're not healthy, they're never going to see you. They're never going to see all that you are and all that you have to offer them. They're only going to see what they allow themselves to see, which is tainted and tinted by their own issues, by their own trauma, by their own protective parts and things that they have developed. They're not able to see past those things. And this is why it's going to be very important and crucial for you to understand this, because sometimes when you have this mindset that you can change a person, or that a person will love you more if you do more of something that they are asking you to do, or if you think that if you're a ride or die, or you stay in this relationship, that it's going to make the person love you more, or it's going to change the trajectory of the relationship, or it's going to make it better, or it's going to help the person, it's not. The only thing that can help the person is God, and that person actually going to get help. You become an enabler of their behavior when you think that you can fix them, you can change them, or that by loving them more, you're going to make something different happen. If their mom loving them didn't change them, if their dad loving them didn't change them, if the relationship before then didn't change, there is probably a guarantee that you as an individual won't change them. And it doesn't mean that you're less than of an individual, or that you're not special or unique. It's just a problem that's beyond you. It's something that's beyond your change, beyond your control. It's something it's not your job to do, right? It's not your responsibility, and it should not take a hit to your self-esteem or who you are as a person, right? That's something you let go because it's outside of you. You might be this most amazing person, but because that person is broken, they can only see brokenness and they cannot see past that. Okay. And sometimes when people are so abusive, they only look to like to make their lives and situations even more broken, right? And some of them are doing it unintentionally, where there's some that intentionally know what they're doing, right? But some unintentionally hurt others, hurt people, hurt people. So if you put yourself in a relationship with someone who is hurtful, who is hurting, it can eventually pour out to you and then you get hurt, right? It's going to be very, very important that instead of loving an abusive person more, that you take in consideration some of the steps that I'm going to advise you to take. Okay, so number one, recognize the abuse. Acknowledge and accept that the behavior of the person is abusive. It's not right. And this can be emotional, physical, or verbal abuse, right? Abuse is not just physical, where somebody's punching you and hurting you. No, there's also verbal and emotional abuse as well. Okay, remember that abuse does not just have to be physical. It does not mean that someone's punching you or hurting you in that manner. No, it can also be emotional, verbal, someone just speaking negatively to you, abusing you with their words, verbally abusive to you, right? Manipulation, gaslighting, lying, different things like that, tearing you down, tearing you apart with their words, making you feel like you're crazy or you're stupid for having feelings, and trying to just make you feel like you're less than of a person because you have opinions or you want to speak up or you want to, defend yourself, right? Number two, it's important that you reach out for support once you realize that the relationship is abusive or the person is acting in an abusive way, right? Share your experiences with trusted friends. Something that I noticed, including myself when I went through my own abuse, is that we don't tell people, right? Because of the shame and the guilt of like, it's kind of, you feel bad, right? To be in an abusive relationship. It's like, how did I find myself in a relationship with someone who's abusive? How did I find myself here? And the reason we feel that way, it's because maybe you were this, energetic, this great, loving, full of life person. And now this person has completely drained you and brought you down. And so now it's embarrassing. You feel ashamed that someone's hitting you or that someone's, mentally messing with you, playing mind games with you and hurting you, right? And now you feel crazy, you feel just unloved, you feel delusional, you feel all these like psychological issues, right? And some even physical issues that start to take a toll on you, and you start to feel shame and guilt of it. And then you also don't want to bring shame to that other person because you love them and you care about them. So you don't tell people that, yeah, they're abusing me behind closed doors. Yeah, they're hurting me, right? You want to keep their image up, right? You want to keep the image of your family or whatever it is up, so you don't share. And so then once you leave the relationship, people are like, what are you talking about? This person was amazing. I didn't see anything abusive happening. When in reality, they don't know that behind closed doors, you were experiencing some traumatic abuse. Okay. And so it's important that if you are in that situation, start to talk about it. Talk about it with trusted friends and family members or professionals like therapists or counselors or coaches that can provide guidance and validation and support for you while you're trying to go through this difficult time and transition through it. Number three, set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries with the abusive person. And this can be detrimental, especially if the person's physically abusive, because they might not like it and push back and try to harm you. And that's why it's going to be important that you find support and you make a game plan for yourself to get out of the situation. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, about maybe it's time to leave the relationship. Okay. So establishing boundaries, communicate your expectations for respectful behavior and enforce consequences if those boundaries are violated. All right. Because this may involve, like, if you want to establish a consequence, this can be involving limiting contact or ending the relationship. So if you're not going to be respectful, if you're not going to honor my boundaries, then this might lead to me not talking to you. This might lead you to being blocked, right? This might lead me to exiting out of this relationship completely, right? There's consequences for not following through and respecting my boundaries. The same way we want to respect and honor people's boundaries. It's okay to have boundaries. It's important to have boundaries. It's important that people understand what matters to you. And you need to have boundaries in order to protect your peace, right? That protects you by having boundaries. You deserve respect. You deserve people to love you and care for you and honor you in the most respectful way possible. And so it's up to you to set those boundaries, to set the precedent for how people treat you and how people show up. And if you don't have boundaries, people will walk all over you. Trust me, I know. So establish clear boundaries. Understand for yourself what it is that you value, what's important to you, and what is necessary for you to maintain your peace. Okay? And actually follow through with consequences if someone violates them. Okay? Or they go against them, right? That is helping you protect yourself and training and showing others how you want to be treated, what's acceptable and what is unacceptable. All right. Number 4, seek professional help. Consider seeking professional help for yourself, and encourage the abusive person as well to seek therapy or counseling as well. A trained professional can go a long way in supporting you and supporting the other person. Okay. Now, there's a lot of times where the other person's like, I don't need therapy. I don't want therapy. They don't see an issue. They don't see a problem, especially if you're dealing with, let's say, someone who's narcissistic. It's really difficult for them to be self-aware. It's really difficult for them to see themselves and how they contribute to other people's pain and how they contribute to life situations. They're always looking to blame other people. Like, it's their fault. It's the police fault. It's the girl's fault. It's my mama's fault. It's that person's fault. It's my friend's fault. It's everybody's fault but my own fault. Or sometimes they will take responsibility and say, oh yeah, it is my fault. But really, deep down, they don't think that, right? Sometimes they just say the right thing. Sometimes they seem like they have self-awareness, but they really, really, really don't, right? And you will notice it because their actions over time, the fruit will show over time that they don't really take responsibility, that they really don't want to change, that they don't really see that they are the problem. They just say enough or be enough in order to keep people enwrapped in their lives, right? So it's important to understand that, like, if you're in a relationship with someone and they're not willing to get help, they're not willing to go and do the work that is necessary for them to be healthy, to deal with their own trauma and get rid of those deep-rooted issues, it might be time for you to leave the relationship and move out of the way so that they can figure it out on their own. Because again, sometimes staying in those relationships, you can become an enabler and become their safety, their comfort, and they will not see a need to change or to be a better person. And loving them is not going to help them address the underlying issues that are contributing to the abusive behavior. A therapist, a professional, someone who's trained in this can help them do so, right? It's not something that if we love them more, we do more of what they want, that is going to help address the underlying issue with whatever it is that they are dealing with. Okay. 5, prioritize your safety. And this is very crucial. Your safety should be the top priority. If you are in immediate danger, contact the authorities or a local domestic violence hotline. Yes, verbal abuse, emotional abuse is considered domestic violence. Contact the hotline and try to find help. Develop a safety plan and considering finding a safe place to stay if necessary. If you're living with this person or this person is controlling your finances or controlling aspects of your life, it's going to be important for you to start to develop a safety plan of action that you can do in order to find a safe place to go or stay if necessary to get out of the way. Okay. Proper planning equals proper performance. Okay. Plan if needed. Plan. Don't tell them you're planning. Don't do, for real. Some abusive people can be extremely off the chain, crazy, right? Ready to shoot you and shoot everybody else in the field. So be mindful, be smart, and plan safely. Protect your safety. If you realize things are getting too out of hand, too abusive, too crazy, right? It's beyond just like this person is just negative and speaking negative words and saying negative things. It's going beyond that. Then it's time to find a way out. Number 6, focus on self-care. Okay. Engage in self-care activities that promote your well-being, such as exercise, hobbies, spending time with supportive individuals, and take time to heal and rebuild your self-esteem. Sometimes we keep ourselves in abusive relationships because low self-worth, low self-esteem, right? And a lack of confidence, confidence is like what I like to say. And so it's going to be important for you to start to rebuild yourself and work on yourself and care for yourself so you can build the strength in order to leave. Okay. And it's important to know, like, God has plans for you to prosper, plans for your future that are going to be amazing and prosperous. So that means God does not want you to be in a place that's filled with a lot of confusion, a lot of abuse and abandonment and hurt and pain. No, He wants to see you move. It doesn't mean our life is without suffering, right? We all are going to encounter suffering. We're all going to do things, but there are some things that we can change. If you find yourself being tied into an abusive relationship because you don't think you deserve better, you think that you're the person that's going to save this person, or you think that by being in a relationship, this is what you deserve, this is what is for you because of maybe something you did in the past, or you just don't think highly of yourself. Those are unhealthy thoughts. Those are unhealthy reasons for you to stay in that relationship. Okay. We are not on this earth to please men. We're only on this earth to please God. So if you're worried about making that person unhappy and not being their ride or die, and that person, that's not your job. That is God's job, right? We're here to please God, not please people and please men. Okay. And again, like, you have to have faith that God wants fruitful relationships and healthy relationships and healthy situations for our lives and for you. And He is not the author of confusion. Okay. Number 7, consider leaving the relationship. If the abusive behavior persists or escalates despite your efforts, despite the therapist or whoever put forth effort, it's important that you may start to need to reconsider leaving the relationship for your own safety and well-being. If you have kids, for their safety, for their well-being, is as much as it might hurt to take a child from their another caregiver, from their other parent. Sometimes it's about their safety and well-being. If that person is being abusive around them, that person is showing abusive behavior towards them, if it's impacting the children's health, right? It's impacting the family. It's taking a toll. Then sometimes you might have to considering going limited contact and moving the children away in order for that person to get healthy. It's like, I need you to get healthy, right? You need to be healthy in order to be a healthy parent and show up in a healthy way. Okay. And if that person is becoming abusive to the point that it's just completely dangerous, it's really important for you to, again, go back to setting that safety plan and getting out of there, okay, to protect your own well-being and protect your own safety. Leaving, again, is a difficult decision. It's a challenging decision. It's a painful decision, especially if you're codependent or you have low self-worth, low self-esteem, or if and just in general, if this person's your wife, your husband, or it's just somebody that you truly, truly care and love about. It's not easy to abandon people, especially if you have abandonment issues yourself. You probably don't want to abandon people and make them feel how you felt when you were abandoned. Or maybe you've connected with this person and you see the good side, you see the sweet side that could be there, but it's just buried so deep with all this abusive behavior, these protective parts that are abusive. But you see the real them. And so you want to stay, you want to be there. You're looking at them for their potential and who they can be. And so it's hard to let go, right? It's hard to let go because you're like, if I just stay longer, if I just love more, maybe they'll finally become who I know they potentially can be. And that's going to be very crucial. We cannot date people or love people based off of their potential or who they can potentially be. No, you have to see them for who they are. Who are they right now? Who is he right now? Who is she right now? What are they doing right now? Okay, that's what we need to look at. That is what we need to see. Okay, not who they can potentially be, potentially become. We're not dating at potential. We're dating right now. Okay, you marrying someone, you changing up your hair, you changing your body, you doing more of something, you cooking more of something, you doing less of something. It's not going to change that relationship, and it's not going to change that person. Okay, but remember, even then though, as much as you think that that person doesn't deserve to be abandoned, that you can be there and love that person, you have to understand that you have to be there and love you too. And that you deserve healthiness and you deserve to be in a healthy and loving relationship. Okay? Remember, it is not your responsibility to change or fix people, especially this abusive person. Your well being and safety should always be the priority. Okay, so I pray this video was beneficial for you, that you got a lot of fruitful information from it. And I just pray that you would get out of any abusive relationship or situation that you may be in, and that God will lead you out of it if necessary, and that you would take off the hat that if I love them more, if I do more, it's going to change something or it's going to make something better. Because no, it is not your responsibility to do so. Okay. Let that belief go. Let it go. It doesn't work, and it has not worked. Okay. It will only enable the behavior, and it will only cause that person to further abuse you even more. Okay. So I just want to let you guys know that it's upcoming this year is going to be the Healing on Purpose 2024 retreat. And I would love for you guys to be there, because we will be exploring trauma and healing from trauma, finding ways to cope, and tools that we can utilize to heal from trauma. And we'll also experience a lot of relaxation, rejuvenation, and activities that we will do together as sisters. It's going to also include some body work, some hiking, some bonfires, some fun activities, a great time for everybody. And you get to pick your own room style and invite friends or family or people that you know would also enjoy the retreat as well. So if you want more details about the retreat, you can look in the description below. There's a link to the retreat's website. Also, you can just go to rootedunlimited.org/healing on purpose. Okay. Also, if you're someone dealing with codependency and you're just looking for a workbook or a guided workbook that's going to help you get through codependency, you can also look in the description below for a link to my workbook, which is available now on Amazon, for healing codependency, learning healthy love. I also have a course that is also available on my website that you can check out as well at rootedunlimited.org. Okay, so guys, if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, share this video, share it, especially to people that it can be beneficial to. And if you're listening on the podcast, follow the podcast and share the podcast as well. Remember, I love you, and most importantly, God loves you. Take care. Bye.